Hey traders, doing an update now on Bitcoin. Do a top-down global macro, not global macro, top-down directional approach that we use. Start from the higher time frames, work your way down. So on the monthly level, we still have a lot of distance here, guys, between where Bitcoin's trading now and the eight period moving average, this red line. I went ahead and built the bands in. We call our wave formation bands in our model. You'll see it on the next chart. Um, the monthly cycle's trying to form here. It's just such a young asset that there's not a lot of data. Um, but you can see each pullback here, we went sideways, and then we had a nice cycle up that lasted from November to essentially April, and not until May before it crossed, which was pretty near the high. So cycle's still high. I'm not so sure how much this monthly cycle is helpful. When we go to the weekly, here you can see weekly cycle still coming down. We may have some more consolidation sideways and or deeper pullback. But again, like I just said in the Ethereum video, these cycles, because they're in such a strong bull market, I mean, this is the best asset class on the planet. These cycles are pretty shallow, meaning they're not going all the way to the bottom of the range. And you can actually see there's a trend line here within the cycles, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see. That cycle's still down. So that when we get a down cycle like that, we aren't shorting these names. But you got to be patient when you're trying to reestablish a core long. When you look at the daily chart, all right, this area right here is pretty interesting to me. So here's our wave formation bands. So you see you tend to get higher lows at these bands. And this just gives a good visual of the uptrend. This is a nice wave formation. So it just clearly shows you the bull market. And we keep holding the bands. And this actually happens to be our pi line on lower time frames. That's what we mean. That's what we mean by the model's fractal in nature. The smaller trends build into the larger trends. But on a smaller time frame or a multi-duration model, this was our pi line that's been holding. This was too. It actually came up like this. Anyway, we're kind of hanging on here to where are we going to hold these lows, or are we in for a deeper pullback, at least to these lows here in front of 2000? Or, as my traders know in the model, when we break the bands, there's a good chance that you get the deeper pullback to the 200 and or to pi, create a full pi cycle lower. I'm kind of thinking we already held here. From a swing time frame, we haven't turned this cycle up yet, but it's close. It's getting lower. This cycle on the daily level is definitely getting lower. You can see that each time it gets down here, again, this is shallow cycle ranges. You're only getting back to a 40 reading. Each time you get back here, though, you get a nice cycle up. So we were watching that level, this 2250 area. And then let's just go to the 4-hour real quick. All right. Gotta adjust these charts sometimes. So you guys see this? See the stochastic here? It's like a heartbeat. It's the same thing. It's a rhythm. This is actually it's an oscillator, and an oscillation is an equation of motion. If you understand physics, an oscillation is an equation of motion. So that's what we're measuring here. We don't really care about overbought, oversold. We care about the rhythm, the pendulum swing. That's what timing markets and understand the time components about. It's the rhythm of time. It's not about overbought, oversold. So here we are. Again, just amazing holds of the pie line. Boom, boom, boom. I've talked about this so many times. But this so far so good. I mean, there's a lot of support here. There was 4 lows here, another 2, another 4 lows here. 1, 2, 3, 4 candle lows. So a lot of support. 2250. It doesn't matter level specific exactly, but this just shows you how technical this market's trading already. These are areas that we care about. So, and then lastly, let's just look. Let's just look at the hourly. Overall, this market's just quietly basing. There's a lot of accumulation still. So we've been better buyers down here. On the hourly here, there's some resistance right here. Call it 24.10. If you can get above there for the intermediate term, there's room to go back to pie up here, 2,500. So if you bought well, you want to be taking profit up here. You could even add if you get above this high. So still bullish, guys, on Bitcoin, obviously long term, and still looks like we held so far this 2250 area for the intermediate term. That's all I got for you. I'll do a couple others maybe a little bit later, guys.